Things got interesting with Charles Omenihu, JD. I do want to talk to you about
Okay.
Charles Omenihu. So Omenihu, 2 years ago, signs a 2-year deal worth $16 million bucks. This is where things kind of get shaky for me, at least. So over the last 2 years since he's played with us, we could have played at 41 total games. Charles Omenihu played in 23 of the 41 games. He has suspension, a few injuries here and there, but playing about 50% of snaps for us. 10 sacks in the last 2 years. And according to Spot Track, they give his AAV about $11.8 million. So that would be about $12 million a year is what they think he's going to get demand this offseason. So that's about $4 million more than what we gave him this past year. Then tonight, probably about 20 minutes before we came on the show, Charles Omenihu, it's like he knew we were going to do a show about D-line tonight, JD. He tweets, "Know your worth." That's it. So one of the first cryptic tweets of the offseason from a free agent here.
Mm-hmm.
What do you make about all these numbers here? Him not playing as much, and just overall the know your worth aspect. I mean, where would you kind of set his kind of market if we were talking about prices here, JD?
Well, obviously played in 23 games. He had the suspension. Then, of course, the injury that kept him out of it. That was the reason for him missing those games. That was it. And here's the thing. Charles played really well the year before he had gotten hurt. It was a monster out there. It looked like a match made in heaven. And so, talking to Omenihu, man, he's got a lot of fire in his belly. He's a hell of a player. That's for daggone sure. And I think because he knows it, Chiefs know it, the league knows it, but also, too, this is how contract negotiations work. And so what they'll do is they'll bring every point that you brought up, Marcus, that you only played 23 games out of the 41. You had 10 sacks in 2 seasons. But your projection is 11.8. That's what they're going to say. That's how these negotiations go. And so for Charles, it's very important as a player to know what your worth is. If you feel like you're worth more money than that, which I do agree, you got to go for it. You have to. And so and this is his only injury. That's what we talked about. He's like, man, big brother, that was it. This is my only injury. Never been hurt before. So it was just new to him. This all season, he had time to let the knee rest, get strong, and all those different things. He's going to be back to his old self. It's going to be on another team to take that chance and opportunity on him, to pay him the big bucks. Charles feels like he's worth the big bucks. And I tend to agree. He's a great defensive end. Man, he's so versatile. He came down and played defensive tackle for us. So that increased his worth because of his versatility. But this is how the NFL goes, man. NFL is going to negotiate what they feel like you're worth, and you got to stick to your guns. You have to. And so if the Chiefs don't buy into it, I'm sure Charles is like, hey, man, then I got to go somewhere else. I can become a free agent and see what the market holds. But this is part of negotiation. You got to convince them and show that you are that guy that is worth all that money. Okay? You got to be the guy. And for them, they're going to have guys come in and try to convince you that you're not worth that money, and try to get you at a team-friendly deal, or try to get you a little bit lower than what you sign up for. So I think it's a beautiful message because everybody needs to know their worth. Every single one of us. So regardless of whatever you do, what you do at work, make sure you get paid what you feel like you're worth, and you should. I think we need to do more of that. The problem is that we don't, and sometimes our employers they downplay our significance or our importance to the organization, and they use it against us. And a lot of it do in the real world because they feel like, we can just move on from you. And some will. But some people, what I love about it is the character that they display and the perseverance is that they stick with their guns. They know who they are. They know they're worth more than what they or somebody's willing to pay them. Sometimes you have to do that. Sometimes you got to take that a chance and opportunity. So this is going to be look. This is what this is going to be. Well, Omenihu, it's going to be contract negotiations between him and the Chiefs. Okay, so I don't know what he's looking for, but I know it's definitely more than 11.8 that they're projecting for him. He wants more. I think significantly more than that, because he feels like he can make a difference on the team. And when he has played, you have seen the difference he has been able to make. You can see his impact on the game. So, I encourage you, man, stick to your guns.
Some of the different websites, obviously Spot Track's the one that is the one that kind of keeps up to date with all the contracts and whatnot. They put out projections for certain players.
Yeah.
They project him at about $12 million a year, which obviously would be $4 million more than what we were paying him a year, which would be. Do you think, and this is something that I was just about to ask this, Sasha asked, a heavy incentive-based contract. So let's say look, and you obviously know the conversations that we're going to go, JD. Brett Veach's like, look, we love having you here. You've played 23 to 41 games. We know what you can do the defense, but we just feel comfortable knowing the injuries and the suspensions that you had. We feel comfortable paying you this base amount with an incentive base to get you about 14 to 15 million for a 1 year, an incentive-based deal, maybe 9 sacks or whatnot. I don't know, something to kind of, to kind of give them that. Do you think that's probably where they're going to go with it? Maybe short-term deal? Although the NFL season is done, there's still many games to be played between college basketball, NBA, NHL, and WNBA. There's always time to embrace your inner underdog. All you got to do is predict higher or lower on multiple different player statistics. If you've yet to download the Underdog app, do so now and get free cash. Click the link in the description or use promo code ChiefConcerns, one word, to claim your free pick and first-time deposit offer up to $1,000 in bonus cash. So let's continue to keep the good vibes going into the spring season. You get a guess?
Yeah, possibly they'll do that. Okay, they'll use the injury just for to validate what they're doing, what they're talking about. And to be honest with you, he has to argue against it. And for him, he may not want to do a high incentive-based contract. And I agree with it. He feels like he's been here enough to approve what they have, what y'all seen enough. So what do I need as far as high-based incentive contract? Guys want guaranteed money. That's what sells. That's what guys buy into. So you can have a high incentive contract. Yeah, some guys may take it. Some may. Or maybe he's sitting there saying, like, look, how about y'all just go ahead and invest with me right now? And I've done the same. I've done the same, Marcus. I've done the same, brother. And you had to know your worth. I told you like I was all the time. My last time signing with the team, my last contract, I said, look, it's real simple here. I've been out here. I was leaving from Oakland, just came from Oakland, talking to their staff, and I was in the airport in Denver. Called my agent, was like, "Hey, we need to get Jason here. We seen what Oakland just offered him, and we want to offer him something higher. We want it." And they changed my flight, put me on a first class ticket to Denver, and within 2 minutes, Carl Peterson was on the phone with me. And it was like, okay, what's going on? So, yeah, I heard you came from, Oakland. You're heading out to Denver. We know Denver's going to have something on the table. What do you think about this? And I said, look, Carl, here's the deal with me. Okay. I don't feel like flying all over the country. I don't. Obviously, the teams they know my value. They play against me. They're in the same division. So they know what I bring to the table. They have no problem making that payment and doing those things. And I had to basically negotiate, just like my agent negotiated. Well, I don't know if I pay a backup tight end. I said, no, I'm not a backup tight end. I started when I was in Philly. I'm here as, a 1A starter. It's me and Tony on each side. Tony's catching all the footballs, but it ain't like I can't catch balls and stuff like that too. I've shown that. But I'm not looking at being a backup tight end play. These guys are paying me to be the starter, and that's what I'm ready to go do. And so I said, it's real simple. If I come back to Kansas City, it's either one or two things. It's either me taking stuff out of my locker, or it's me coming and putting stuff in and being a chief for my time. And he said, Jason, give me 3 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and start drafting things. I said, at the end of the day, it's going to be my name on it and your name on the contract. That's what it's going to be. And we was able to get something done. So Omenihu's going to have to do the same thing. When you go into negotiation, man, you got to make it personal. You got to make them know that who you are, what you stand on, what you bring to the table. They know that. They know what they got out of Charles Omenihu. They know how hard he works. They know what his heart is, his passion. They know that. They know they're going to get a player in Charles Omenihu. So the negotiation part of it is, what can we talk down on and what can we get for? So he got to stick to his guns, man. The Chiefs do too. It's just, it's business. It's NFL business, brother. It's NFL business.
Yeah. At the end of the day, everyone in the chat's pretty much saying that when Omenihu came back, and that you can also make the argument too. If you want to use his numbers against him, he may have not come back fully healthy. Maybe he needed to come back because we needed him because Joe was getting triple teamed and no one was, there's not much help there for a little bit. He comes back, the double teams and triple teams were gone. He's in there playing, maybe not 100%, maybe at 75%, 80%, but he came in and gave us what he could give us. And that's why sometimes I can't stand when people use the stats against players. I get it, you have to, it's the business. But these guys are coming back, they're not 100%. They're playing, they're giving it to you all. But when it comes to contract negotiations later on, they're gonna be like, well, you didn't produce, but like, yeah, I came back when I wasn't ready. Yeah, my numbers weren't there because I wasn't 100%. But like, you're gonna use that against me now because I came back early from my injury to help.
Right. If anything, that should mean something.
Yeah,
that should show you my dedication to this team and loyalty. That I was willing to go out there, maybe if I'm not 100%, but I'm out there to give you something to make sure that Chris Jones and those guys not getting double teamed. Like, I'm going to bring something to the table. And if I'm coming out here, if I'm 75, 8%, and I'm doing better than the guys that you got out here that's been out here, then that's an issue, no problem. How come you can't see me as an answer? So, yeah, man. Yeah.
At the end of the day, I hope Brett Veach does what he can to keep Charles Omenihu in Kansas City. Like we just went over who's on the roster right now. Losing him would hurt because he gives us versatility. He can play inside. He can play outside. And
we need to work something out with him.
Yeah. So hopefully Veach can do that. Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out the best clips from Chief Concerns. And if you prefer to listen to the show, subscribe and follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and anywhere else you get your podcasts.